All right, cool. Let's get started.
Betty, you're getting a personal treatment.
All right, go for it. Okay, yeah, I can get started. Yeah, so welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome to our first info session. So we're really excited to meet everyone over Zoom and talk a little bit about She Aspired and the program that we are providing called Break into Product Like a Woman. And then we'll dive a little bit today into what this program entails, and I think also share a little bit about our personal stories into product management and why we decided to start She Aspired. So this webinar is really for anyone who's interested in getting into product. And at the end, we'll have some Q&A sessions as well for just any questions you might have about getting into products and any questions related to this program as well. Okay, so cool. In terms of agenda today, so we'll first introduce the team, so Polina and myself, and talk a little bit about our product management journey. And then we will dive into what is actually She Aspired and why we decided to start She Aspired. Following that, we'll talk about the curriculum details and the community, and it will finish up with the tuition as well as any Q&As that come during the session. All right, I'll hand it off to Polina.
Cool, awesome, thank you, Joyce. Hi everyone, my name is Polina. Welcome as well, also from my end. I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my personal story as a person and as a product manager. My first job as a product manager, I got straight out of college in Berlin, Germany. It was about 8 years ago, and back then I didn't really know that there is a name for the role I was dreaming of. So it all kind of like came together. I was working as a product manager for about a year, and then I decided to start my own company and was working basically with two other co-founders. One of them was engineer, another one was the designer. So I started another like small tech startup. I was running it for about 3.5 years, and by 2016 got really burned out. And this was the time when I decided to move on. So not just to leave my team. It was a hard decision, but still I'm happy I made it. But we also moved from Berlin to San Francisco. And when I came to San Francisco, I decided that I would like to kind of like boost my technical understanding also, and did a coding bootcamp. But I didn't quite finish it because I was super pregnant back then and I had massive headaches. So I decided to basically leave it then, but it was still great learning. Nonetheless, also being super pregnant, 6 months pregnant, I accepted an offer by a startup to join them as the first and the only product manager in the team. And once again, so 6 months pregnant, not a problem. If you really want something, everything is possible. So so about 1.5 years into the role, I also felt very lonely and quite burned out because I was the only PM. I didn't really have peers in the team, and also the team was also pretty technical and male dominated. So this is when I started to think like, how can I find my own community of women? And I turned to Women in Product, liked their online offering, and decided that I want to have something like this in person. And this is when I started basically PM Breakfast Event Series 2019. And believe it or not, at the very first event, we met with Joyce, and we immediately synced. And since then, we're connected all the time. And this is basically what I really wanted from that event series. So it really worked out for me. We were running the event series for almost a year. Then recently I have moved to Portland. This was kind of like a reason why we're not doing it actively at the moment, but we will figure out what we're going to do with that. But in the past couple of months, we used the time to synthesize ideas that we've got from the event series because we met many inspiring women there in like a different levels of product management. And basically we synthesized ideas, we also organized our thoughts, and basically the end of the story you know already, we decided to start She Aspire. Yeah, so this is basically where I want to give the possibility to talk to Joyce again.
Cool. All right, so I'll talk a little bit about myself. So I'm Joyce, and here I say I love hacking human well-being. So yeah, absolutely love the wellness space and learning everything about how to improve and hack human well-being. I can talk a little bit more about that later, and kind of also what I'm doing day to day as a job as a PM, working as a PM today. But just in terms of my career and entry into product management, so yeah, I graduated as an engineering major, and I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do after school, but I knew that I really love working with a diverse group of people, and I also just love building products that can enhance human well-being. So after grad school, I joined a 2-year rotation program, and I kind of call this my choose your own adventure phase of my career journey. So I was really fortunate to have the opportunity in this 2-year program to essentially explore various roles that I was interested in. And at the end of the program, I realized that what I really love is working with customers. And I also learned that my biggest strength was really my ability to articulate customer pain points and to a cross-functional team, and actually work with a cross-functional team to solve the problems quickly. So at the end of the program, I actually landed my dream job at the time as a product manager. And I actually didn't even know at the time what product management is, but people were able to see my my unique ability to really frame the customer problem and work with the team to solve this problem. So I got handed the job, kind of the perfect job landed in my hands. So I dove straight into product management, didn't really know anything about the role, and just learned on the job. And I have to say, over the next couple of years, definitely had a lot of trial and errors, just figuring out what are the right things to do as a product manager. And I think also every product management role is different. So since 2014, I've had, this is my third job as a product manager. I'm currently a senior product lead at Fitbit. And in 2017, I kind of stumbled my way into the dream company also. So I think I had a lot of luck in my career. And it was also my first PM role in a tech company. So again, like didn't really know what I was walking myself into. And as you can see here in my career journey, in 2018, I kind of crashed and got burned out and felt really lonely in the journey. I was one of the few female PMs on the team. So 2019 was when things started to go up, kind of uphill. I met Polina at PM Breakfast, and also met just a lot of women in other women product managers in the women product group, and realized the power of community and kind of what we're able to learn from each other, and the power of the community to kind of really help us through this journey. So throughout 2019, Polina and I co-hosted about 12 p.m. breakfasts, and a lot of the folks who came to the PM breakfast were aspiring women product managers. And we realized that for each and every single one of them, the journey is quite lonely, and it's a lot of, puzzle piecing and kind of navigating through this journey. So that really inspired us to get together and start She Aspire. We're going to go a little bit more into what it is, but we're really excited about this, what we're building, and yeah, I think really focusing on the power community and empowering more women to get into product. So with that, I'll hand it back to Polina and talk about what exactly is She Aspire.
Yeah, thank you, Joyce. Yeah, so basically, I want to take you with me on the journey on how we decided what She Aspired should be. So once again, there is a huge offering of sources and classes for aspiring product managers. But still, there are people who are stuck in transition for several years. There are people who are burned out during their transition, and there are people who give up. And that's why we realized that there is something like really, like something is missing. So after we have done our kind of intense market research, we found out that there are many self-paced online courses on product management. And there are also multiple offerings from different career coaches. And there are also communities, like peer-based communities like Women in Product or PM Breakfast. So all of them have their benefits and downsides. And we wanted basically to create She Aspired at the intersection of these three. So She Aspires combines educational aspect. So you'll be learning how to think and how to act like a product manager, applying the fundamental skills while learning from day one. This is the first core piece. The second one is you'll be getting also career coaching aspect. It means that together with us, we'll be building a tailored plan for you, focused on getting you a job that you're dreaming of. And the third aspect, what Joyce already touched on, is the community aspect, because we really believe that it is very, very powerful and helpful to have community while you're transitioning. And honestly speaking, by talking to really many product managers who actually made it to become product managers, most of them had a support network. So we want to become the support network for you. So this is basically like in a few words what She Aspired is. Joyce, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, so in terms of why she aspired, and I think we can reiterate enough the power of community. So the journey to product management can really be lonely and confusing and overwhelming. I think even for Polina and myself, who have been in the product management space for many years, it is a very difficult space to navigate given how much you need to know as a product manager. So especially for women who are entering into looking to transition into product, it can be quite a challenge to navigate and find this path alone. So we really believe that you don't have to do this alone, and we can leverage the power of community to find the path together. So at the heart of She Aspire, really believe in creating an empowering community for women to transition to product. Whether or not you decide to join this program or not, we're here to provide that support and also resources to help everyone figure out what is their product market fit, right? I think the day one of being a product manager is actually to really start to apply and think about the skills of being a product manager. And one of the biggest product that you manage is actually your own career and your life. So in this program, really want to help you figure out what is your unique product market fit for the dream role that you want to have, and work with you to create an actionable plan to actually get there. So after this, we're actually going to dive into specifically what is a curriculum and what does that look like, a little bit more details, and then at the end, again, we have Q&A, so folks can ask any questions.
Yeah, so very basics. We are both product managers. So day to day, we apply design thinking principles. We apply behavioral design principles at our work. So this is basically how we also structured our curriculum. So we leverage the best practices from product management, from design thinking, and also behavioral design to help you create this action plan to land your dream job. So as Joyce already mentioned, in our program, your product is your career. So congratulations, it's basically your first job as a product manager. So what you'll be doing is you'll be practicing from day one everything a product manager does on a day-to-day basis. So what is it specifically? You'll be doing customer research, you'll be doing market research, you'll identify your niche, you will do also SWOT analysis for your product, you will find a product market fit, you will create your roadmap, and potentially you'll be measuring also the metrics that matter for your specific product, basically for your career. So in the very end of the program, you'll be also having an opportunity to build and pitch your product. So basically the whole end-to-end process, what a regular product manager does with the product, you'll be doing in the course. So in terms of design thinking, so design thinking is also one of the tools of product managers. So we'll try to teach you to basically to think like a designer, learn to iterate, and learn to prototype. Yeah, so now we can dive basically into the first week of the curriculum. And I wanted to start actually with this very on point quote by one of the new product managers I have recently talked to. Basically, this is what she said. In order to get the job, you have to be very self-aware. You have to take stock of all the things you've done and all the impact you have made. Don't play down the role you played. So she's a woman and we're a woman. We are women. Basically, we know that we tend to play down things that we have accomplished. So in the first week, we want to focus on identifying your unique value proposition. And we want to make you very self-aware of where you are now, where you want to go, and why you want it. So basically, of course, we believe also that PMs who come from different backgrounds and perspectives have their own unique skill set. So our goal during the first week is basically to identify what makes you special. What value can you add based on your unique background, and what distinguishes you from all other people who are applying for product management role. So that's why the first part of the week one, we're focusing on identifying your value proposition, and we have come up with different practical tasks. So this is also kind of a part of our curriculum. It's not only that you're learning by listening to us, it's actually the big part of the program is you're actually practicing the things that we're teaching you about. So in the first week, we will ask you to work on your personal SWOT analysis to identify your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And probably we will iterate and reiterate on this analysis quite a bit. So really to identify what is your specific unique value proposition. Okay, cool. So the second part of the week two is, you can go to the next slide, is identifying your personal motivations. Can you go to the next slide? Oh yeah, perfect. You probably know this famous quote by Simon Sinek: people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And this is the focus still of the week one. Being a great PM is about being able to craft a narrative and get a buy-in for that narrative. So we'll help you articulate why you want to be a product manager and what is your value add. So once again, you need to be to product manage yourself like you would product manage your product. You need to think of yourself and your career in the same way. That's why we'll focus on identifying what's your narrative and why people should even buy into that. So going to the next week, we'll be working on your strategy. So sending 20, 50, 100 applications is not a winning strategy. So we want you to think about your career strategically. That's why we'll be working on crafting your strategy, which means targeting not only the right company, but also the right role. So because you are your own product, you can basically improve the product as much as you want in the areas you think matter, but you're not going to get a breakthrough with a company if you're selling to the wrong company. So that's why we're focusing in the second week on basically picking your market and finding out which companies and which roles are the best fit for your specific situation. You'll be conducting interviews. This is about the practical part. You'll be identifying who from the employers you should be talking first, and figuring out like who can bring you to the needed connections as soon as possible. So I think this is on the first 2 weeks, and Joyce will take it from here and talk about week 3 and 4.
Cool. All right. So week 3 is kind of I would say, consider the climax of this program. So this is the week where you really start to craft your product vision and strategy and be like a PM. So it's really important to start applying the skills of being a product manager as you're doing your job search and career search and transitioning and going through this transition process of becoming a PM. So here I have a quote from Measure What Matters by John Dewar. This is a book that I highly recommend for any of you to read if you haven't come across this book, on setting objectives and key results. In fact, OKRs is right now the trend for all the major tech companies that we use on a quarterly basis to plan our product objectives and KRs. So key result objectives and key results are essentially the yin and yang of goal setting. So key results benchmark and monitor how we get to the objective, and effective key results are specific, time-bound, aggressive, yet realistic. And most of all, they're measurable and verifiable. So as you're planning your own career roadmap to get the job that you want, it's really important to also define what your own objectives and your key results are. A lot of people, as they're going into kind of transitioning into product, they start coming up with a checklist of all the things that they need to learn. Like, I need to read X books, I need to take these courses, etc. But it's really important to have a strategy, have a roadmap, and be able to measure against that. And I think week 1 and week 2 kind of build up on helping you understand where you're at, right? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the things that you can sell yourself? And what are the things you actually need to work on? And then this is the week where you put all that together into a tactical plan. And what are the areas that you actually need to start to make progress and make improvements in order to get the type of job and the type of role that you want. And here it's also really, really important to be specific. So a lot of people, so I get a lot of messages on LinkedIn asking people asking for advice on, like, how do I get into product management? How do I actually get the job? And oftentimes what I hear from aspiring product managers is that I just want a job in product management. I think that's not enough. What you really need to come up with is a specific objective, right? What type of product manager role? If you dig into in our program, we'll also talk about the different path and the different types of product manager roles. So it's very different if you're going after a growth PM role versus a consumer-facing PM role or a B2B PM role, and those require a very different skill set. So that's why here you have to be very strategic and tactical in terms of planning your path into getting into product management. So really starting with what is it that you really want? What type of role really gives you energy and motivation and drive and excitement? And then how do you actually get there, and coming up with a 3-month, 6-month, 12-month plan? And then after that, it's also important to have weekly actions, right? It's one thing to have a goal and say, I want to be this type of product manager at this company. It's another thing to have weekly actions. You need to start to be and think like a product manager, because at the end of the day, when you go for that interview, what people are looking for is how you think, and how you think approach a problem, and how do you think and talk like a PM. And confidence is a big part. So in this program, we're also working with the individuals on building that confidence to be able to talk like a product manager. So when you jump into that role, you're already ready, like you're confident, and you can deal with various different stakeholders, and you can pick up the lingos and start to talk like and act like a product manager. So that's week 3. All right, week 4. So this is the final week. This is where you synthesize everything that you've learned and basically build and pitch your product. Pitch your product, which is yourself. So Andy Grove, which is the father of one of the greatest companies and wrote High Output Management, which also highly recommend, said product management, much like life, is filled with chaos. A good PM can manage to filter through this noise and thrive in the environment of chaos. So I think just first note to set the reality, the tone of reality, product management is not rainbows and butterflies. And it's, I think to a lot of people, it's a very glorious title. At the same time, it's filled with chaos. And I think it's not just about getting the job, it's really about being prepared for the job, because every day is going to be filled with chaos. How do you manage time management and priorities and make decisions, and being able to work with different stakeholders, your executives or your marketers, like kind of, I don't know if you guys have seen our BFPM video, like it's really true, the day-to-day jobs and the expectations, and how do you kind of manage through that. So this is a week where we're going to help you prepare not just the resume interview, but really how to be, um, uh, how to prepare for your first like 30, 60, 90 days as a product manager and beyond. And a big part of it is being able to master your body language and how do you talk, the word choices you use, and how do you convey yourself in front of various different stakeholders. I think product management is really this role where you have to use the right side and the left side of your brain, right? So on one hand, it's very data driven, it's very analytical, and on the other hand, it's leveraging your emotional intelligence. So how do you balance the two? And the other part is crafting your personal product narrative. So when you go into that interview and your quote unquote customer, which is your future employer, you need to be able to pitch yourself, your value prop, and help your employer understand what do you have to bring to the table, what are the skill set and your unique strength and superpowers that you can bring to that employer. So being able to craft a memorable personal product narrative is very, very important as part of this process. So this is the last week where we bring everything together and help you create that product narrative. So that's a lot in the span of 4 weeks, and this is just kind of an overview. We're happy to also answer questions at the end, but I want to finish out with kind of the communities again. So this is a dedicated program, and we have a small for each program, we intend to keep it to a small cohort. And this is because we learned from PM Breakfast that having a small intimate cohort of individuals where people get to know each other and the journey and have this shared journey is really important. And I see this as an opportunity to really go through the experience with others and realize that it's everybody is going through this together, and it's confusing, it's not easy, but you're not in this alone. So this is a quote and we had from one of the aspiring product managers who transitioned to product recently, and she said she joined online communities and groups and also other classes, and she said it's the community that really helped me feel confident in what others are saying and talking and thinking about, so that I am not alone, right? So just talking to others and start talking about product management and the problems that you face can help you start to gain the confidence that you need on the first day of your job. All right, I'm going to transition back to Polina and talk about the final details of the curriculum.
Yeah, so in the beginning, we have mentioned that we're gonna use the principles of behavioral design as well. So one of them is we don't want to leave it to be a self-paced course, because we know that 98% of people actually do not finish the courses that they start. So basically our goal with this course is that everybody who starts will also finish all the assignments and watch all the videos and basically get the work, get the job that they're dreaming of. So that's why the way we're structuring it is you're going to be getting only weekly content every Monday. You're not going to get all the content for the whole course in the beginning. So that's why every Monday you're going to get weekly course content. And then you're going to get also assignments on Wednesday. So you have time to digest what we're going to be sharing with you. And on Wednesday, you will start working on assignments. Also, every week, we're going to have 1 hour of dedicated live discussions with the cohort. Otherwise, you'll be also invited to our Slack channel. So basically, we'll stay in touch with the cohort. As we said, we want you to be accountable for each other. And also we're gonna help you with mentorship and guidance during the process. So that's why we believe this aspect is also super important. So, but otherwise, this is it. In terms of the tuition, so it is $399. As we said, 4 weeks. It starts on April 6th. It's including 8 hours of content and guidance every week, and around 4 hours of assignments. Today, we'll have something special. So basically, we said that if you're signing up by March 30th, you're gonna get $50 discount. But today, you're gonna get additional $10 off, just as a thank you for joining the webinar. So the total will be $339 instead of $399. And this offer is extended for today only. Yeah, I think for our part, we're done with sharing what we had for today, and we will be happy to answer any questions from you.
I think a couple of folks had to jump off early, so they gave us a heads up.
Yeah. Hi, Nikki. Yeah, go ahead. If you want, you can also talk. If you prefer to type, go ahead and type.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Nithi. I had a question. Is this course, would you say is like good for people who are like not 100% sure they want to pursue project management, but just want to figure that out?
I guess I'm curious. Okay, I'm not on mute, right? I guess I'm curious, what are some of questions you have around product management in general? And yeah, like, I guess that would be the first question I have.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure how to answer that right off the top of my head. I just mean like right now I'm pursuing engineering, and like I do find that fulfilling, and it's just like this is something I'm also interested in exploring more. I guess I'm maybe not at the stage where I'm like I'm ready right now to like apply, you know?
Yeah, I think it's
So
totally
is the
fine.
course good for someone like that who just wants to like figure out more like the general direction their career wants to go, like, and see if like this would be something they actually want to pursue like after the course, or is it for people who are like ready to start applying?
I would say that since the first week is actually focusing mostly on self-awareness, it will definitely help you out understanding like if it is really what you want to pursue, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is no risk in joining. So I didn't mention this, but we are offering 30 days money back guarantee. So if you feel it is not for you after you have started, I mean, you will not lose anything, but I think you will learn a bunch.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I think just one more thing from my side. As I mentioned in week 3, which is building your career roadmap, even though this program is tailored as a fast track to product management, some of the skills that you learn actually apply to any career that you want. I think what we're trying to teach here is to help individuals be strategic about their career planning and career search, right? So the first question we ask is, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, right? And as part of this objectives key results framework is that you start putting your goals into actions and start to plan towards where you want to go. So maybe in the next 3 months, your goal is not to be a product manager, but in 12 months, your goal is to be a product manager. So what are the different things you can experiment and you can do in order to help you find that answer? So I think essentially here, what we're teaching the individuals in the cohort is more a fishing pole rather than to give you fish. I think a lot of programs out there essentially dive straight into, you need to know these skill sets of fundamental skill sets of a product manager. But what we're trying to, and I think this is also our mission to really, the way we're empowering women is like figure out what are your unique strengths and superpowers and where do you want to go, and create a path and a plan for you to actually get there. Rather than kind of following the cookie cutter routes that a lot of people have stumbled upon online or on other avenues.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. And then I was also wondering, you said there's like 8 hours of the course content. What exactly like would that look like? For example, is it like videos or materials, like questions answer? Like what kind of course content is it, and how long do you think per week like you would be spending on it?
Polina, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, I think mainly what we mean is video content. So we'll be basically sharing with you the concepts that matter for the week. Otherwise, we'll be also giving you different templates that you will be like for your personal assignments. So you'll be working through them. And otherwise, probably we'll be giving you also some reading material.
Yeah, we actually have a freebie, right, that we're offering today's attendees. So you get a sneak peek into what are some of the tools and resources. So essentially every week, so this is more a facilitator guided course. So every week you'll receive a video content of the learnings for the week, and then in addition you'll receive assignments that are basically tools to help you think through some of the questions, right? So week one is on your unique strength and weaknesses, your value prop, the SWOT analysis. So you actually have to complete the assignments and share that with us so that we know you completed these assignments. And then we work through various assignments week after week. And you also go through this with your cohort and share with your the other folks in your cohort as well, so you can see what other people how other people have completed their assignments and have that shared learning. And that's kind of the part of the community-based learning experience. And then at the end, everyone will be pitching their personal product narrative. And you will hear from your cohort, others from your cohort, how they pitch themselves. So it's a very immersive learning and actionable, like an actionable learning experience. Because I think we believe that it's really important not just to absorb material, but actually apply it right away so you can put the skills into practice.
Yeah, and basically you also asked like how much time approximately you would need every week. So I would say, as we said, like for assignment, we would love you to invest at least an hour. Then there will going to be 1 hour of a group discussion. We would also love you to join, and probably around 1 hour of learning materials in form of video. So around 3 hours per week that you should be actively working on.
Cool. Sounds great. Yeah, those are all the questions I had.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm going to hit pause recording here.